Hi my love, so we're going to be starting in with my dome cap, which I used to make my wigs, and then followed by some pins because I'm going to help pin the bundles down to the canvas head. I just showed you my pin cushion. It's how I store my needles when I already thread them. And the next thing you're going to need is some scissors because we need to cut it, and I need some thread. I like to use the 100% polyester thread. They're usually the best, and the hair we're going to be using today is from Beaufox. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it nicely, and they're very affordable. When I say affordable, they're affordable and it's pretty decent for the price, so I definitely recommend you guys get them. This is the bundles. I got them in 3 bundles of 12 inches and the frontal. So now I'm showing you guys how I'm trying to brush the frontal and trying to see if there's going to be any shedding in the frontal. There was just a little bit. It's not that much. Like for what I got for this, like it's recommended. I'm going to keep using this company because they're affordable, and since I'm still in that beginner YouTube stage, I'm going to use it. So this is what the shedding looked like. I'm also going to show you guys. I'm going to use my white pencil. So I'm going to use the NYX white pencil. I'm also going to take my dome cap and align it with the canvas head. Now I'm showing you guys how I like to mark where I need to sew and where I need to pin down my frontal to the dome cap, so that when I'm sewing accurately, I'm not having any lumps or any like extra room that doesn't need to be there. So I'm just marking the ears, and I'm doing the back for where the frontal will end in the back of the head. I pretty much went in detail in my other tutorial, which you should check out, which is the purple ombre hair. Now you can see I'm placing the dome cap on the canvas head, and I'm trying to align each line on the side to align with the line on the thing. So I'm going to also use my T-pins, and I like to stretch the back of my cap to make it like realistic, or make it give me the full effect of what the head shape should be like. So I pinned that down. Now I'm pinning down the frontal into the dome cap to match where I put those markings. This is how I make sure that my frontal lies nicely and flat and even. And I'm gonna just braid the hair up a little bit just to get out of my way, because I feel like when I used to put in the rubber band to like pack it up so I can sew it up, it didn't do much. So I need to braid it down. When I braid it down, there's not as much flyway, and it doesn't have to be a neat braid, just something to get all the hair into a big braid and out of your way. And this is how I could sew easily. I'm showing you guys the back. You see how flat it looks. It looks so nice, and this is how you know that your frontal is actually on the cap the right way. When I start sewing, I sew each side at a time. So I'm going to sew to the left right now, and then I'm going to cut it and then sew to the right. And you know how we like to sew when we sew our wigs. We do 3 knotting sequences for the first 3 stitches, and then we carry on with a regular chain stitch. So now I'm pinning down the bundles because I've sewn my frontal to the cap, and you can see how close I pin down the frontal to the closure. You don't want to be that much gapping, and you want to just pin the bundles around to get to the end of the frontal, almost like a smiley face. You just want to see that big black circle or dome in the middle. So when I pin it down, I repeat the step. I keep sewing with 3 knots, like when you wrap the thread around the needle 3 times, and then you keep sewing the regular way, just to make sure in case something were to go loose, you got 3 knots that's holding this thing tight. Like it needs to take like, I don't know, the world to end for this to happen. So yeah, and I do the fold over method because I don't like cutting my bundles. You can cut your bundles if that's easier for you to place it down, but I just like to fold it over just in case I were to like take the bundles down or to reuse the bundles to do something else. For this wig, I particularly would not see myself taking down these bundles and reusing it for something, because I'm also going to color the hair. But if it was like a black bundle wig, I could always take the bundles down and do something else with it, which I'm going to do for my other wig tutorial when I revamp my old wig. So stay tuned for that. And if you ever want my wig video, I have a whole playlist. You should check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, baby. Don't forget it. Don't even try it. Click that bell if you're liking what you see. And I know you like what you see, so click that bell. So we're just going to keep sewing and sewing. Then I'm going to cut off my excess. Or like my thread's almost gone. So I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to triple knot it again. I have trust issues, I guess. That's why I just make sure I do over and beyond to make sure my wig stays in place. I don't like my wig to fall off, because like when you go through the process of sewing it, the last thing you need to do is go back and re-sew and like tweak things up. Maybe like years down the line, if the wig is old, you can do that, but like not when you just made it. You have to go re-sew. That's really tiring, and I ain't got time for that. You do? Good for you. And when I cut off that thread, you see that I'm gonna also start by sewing my next stitch next to where I cut the other thread where it ended, just to make sure there's not that much big gap in between where I last had the thread holding the bundle to the cap. So you need to make sure you're sewing close to, or basically even if like around that same area, so you don't have that much gaps. I didn't go into detail of how I sew my wig because I've done several videos on my channel where I show you guys how to make a wig. So if you want to see that, make sure you check my hair playlist video or hair tutorials playlist video, because that's where it's at. You can learn something new. And you can just see the hair is just looking so beautiful. It's coming together so flawlessly. Like, ugh, I'm in love. So now I'm going with my last bundle, and I also mentioned that, if I didn't mention this, I used double wefting. I folded the bundles over to sew the beginning portion, but when I get to the front, I like to single weft them, or single, whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't fold them over. I just let them go like the way it is, and it just keeps sewing, because I want the back to be more bulky than the front, so like it looks more realistic. So whenever I'm done with my second bundle of it being double folded or folded over, I like to then single weft it. I tried a new technique this time when I was sewing. I kind of like cut when I was getting close to the frontal, because I wanted to see what if it would make a difference in how the wig laid, and it did. But I still think that either way, if you don't want to cut, it's okay. I didn't really cut everything else. It was just the front, because I mean, that's just a little piece. I wanted to try experiment. Since I'm coloring the hair, I know I'm not going to take this wig down to do anything with the bundle, because it's already a pink bundle, and what am I going to do with it? So it was nice. Another thing to consider, if you don't want to do the fold over method when you get to the front of the frontal, so it's not looking bulky there, you can just cut and measure what you need to be covered, and you just keep sewing, and you keep sewing. So now I'm cutting off the excess cap from where the frontal lies, because you don't need to see that. When you cut this, you want to cut close, but not too close to the stitch, because if you unravel those stitches, you're gonna be crying. It's gonna like be so irritating to try and re-sew them back, because it's like so loose. Like, it has happened to me before, not exactly, but something like that, and I was mad. You want to make sure you're cutting close enough where it looks nice, but not too close. But this is what the front looks like, looking all nice and thick. I did that. Yes, I did. Look at the back, so beautiful. So yeah, the hair was actually wavy, but I'm going to put the link down below in my description. And there's not much shedding. I'm showing you guys that. So let's get to the fun part. So I'm going to be using this hair dye from Kiss. You can see the name. I used the rose gold and like another pink one. I also used the Adore neon pink. Those are the three main colors I used. So you're going to get your hot water, pour it into a clean bowl, and then I get my first rose gold hair dye, and I just put a little bit just to test. This is my first time doing water method to see if I like it, and I'm gonna mix the dye in so everything is saturated nicely. And I just keep adding a little bit more. Sometimes I haven't opened the cap and like dip into the water just to make sure I get my money's worth. Like, trying to get every dye, every penny, every dye gonna come out of that bottle, okay, period. So to test the waters and see if my dye is coming out the way I like it, I just dip the tip down in the water just to see what it looks like. If it's like nicely saturated, I'll keep going. But I kept dipping and I'm like, you know what? Ooh, I like this. I like that. So like you see, I'm dipping in the bottle into the water. Be careful if the water is hot. Don't burn yourself. But I'm like, save money, live better. Like, I live by Walmart's like policy. So I'm going to get every dye out this bottle. You know, period. So I'm going to keep doing that same method, and I decided to, like, you know what? I like the way it looks. I decided to just dip more of the wig in there, and as you can see, as I'm dipping it, I'm brushing it too at the same time, because I want to make sure that every blonde strand is becoming pink. You don't want to be having your hair not fully saturated with the color. It's going to look really patchy and look like, I don't know, it's going to look like not cute. So you can see I'm just brushing it up, and when you're brushing it, you're making sure every strand is fully like colored, and you squeeze the excess water out. So you can change your water if you want to, but I didn't really care to, so I'm going to go back in with my next color, which is from Kiss. I can't remember what color this was, the exact shade, but I showed it in the video. I'm going to put it in the description bar. I'm going to take this color and mix it in with the same water I used from the rose gold hair dye, and just mix it, because I didn't really like, they're kind of like sister pink colors, so I didn't really need to change the water. But you can change your water if you want to make it more vibrant and more realistic. I didn't care how it looks. I knew what I was going for before, and so I dip the hair in there and I check it out, and I finger brush it just to make sure like everything is getting nicely colored. But I ran into some issues because this color is very light. It's like a pastel color. When you want to put a pastel color to blonde hair, it doesn't really take the color unless you apply a lot of hair dye to it, and I only bought 1 bottle each, so I had to go back in and order another bottle of the hair dye just to make sure everywhere it got saturated. You're gonna see what it looked like when I first did it. So I let that sit in for a couple of minutes before I would get in my new bottle that I ordered. So I took this whole process took me like a month because I had to wait for, like, with Corona and everything, I had to wait for a whole month for my new hair dye to come in. But you can see when you put it in the bucket, before you let it sit, you want to make sure you're brushing everything so everywhere is getting the color. And one thing I forgot to do was use like Vaseline or my Got2b Frizz spray on the frontal to protect the frontal. You always want to protect your frontal before you dye the hair. This is what it looked like when I first used the first batch of colors before my second bottle came in. It didn't look, the back looked nice, but the frontal did not pick that color well at all. It just looked like crap. It looked good, but not what I wanted. So I went back in with my hot water after I got my new bottles, and then I remembered to protect my frontal after I already dyed it the first time, which is like a no-no. You want to protect your frontal by spraying a Frizz spray on there and then using a blow dryer to blow it in, okay? But that's another story. So now I'm taking in my neon color, which is from the one from Adore, or I forgot, yeah, Adore. This is for the back. So I wanted the back to be neon. I wanted it to be like that kind of ombre effect, guys, like, or like a peekaboo kind of effect where you like raise my hair. If the wind was to blow my hair, you'd be like, oh my god, I didn't know it had neon under there. So that was kind of the effect I was going for with this. So I parted the hair up, and you guys can see like when I parted the hair up in the previous clips, like how it looked. So then I took part I already parted and I dipped into the water. So that part is gonna be the neon pink only, and the rest is gonna be having that pastel pink rose gold flavor. So now this color was so easy. It was so pigmented. I didn't even use the whole bottle because it was so pigmented, and it did what I needed to do. Even though I already had other coloring to the hair, it still gave me that neon effect. It was not even like as if nothing was even in the hair in the first place. So I definitely recommend. See how the frontal still looks like it doesn't even have color to it. That's another reason why I recommend you getting 2 bottles of this 2 Kiss dyes that I use, because they're nice colors, but they're not pigmented as they should be. Maybe because it's also blonde. So I'm going back in and repeating the same step as I did as the first time. Protect the frontal. So I'm spraying my Got2b Frizz spray. And what I forgot to do after spraying, you're meant to put on your hair dryer, and like let the thing dry on there. Because if you put it directly into the hot water, it's gonna literally undo everything you just did. So basically I didn't protect my frontal at all, but I thought I did. But luckily the colors are so light that the lace was not looking that bad. I didn't have to leave it in there for so long, so my lace was not that damaged, where it's like, why is your scalp pink? Your scalp in pink, you know what I mean? So when I wear the wig and I glued it down, it still looked decent. So I was really happy with that. Keep in mind, next time you want to dye your hair, protect your lace with Vaseline, and then put some hair dye in there and protect it. I'm repeating the same steps, so you guys kind of get the gist by now. I'm just combing it now and making sure everything looked nice, and I'm showing you guys what it looked like before we go and wash the hair. Now when you want to wash your colored hair, you want to use cold water, because if you use hot water, you're going to like lose some of the color. So I'm going in with this Beaufox shampoo I got from Sally Beauty. This is what Pick Me also used, and then the hairstylist there, or the lady that works there, she recommended it for colored hair. Like, this is the best shampoo for them. So I'm gonna wash off any excess color that needs to wash off. Look at this hair, it's so beautiful. And then condition it with the same conditioner for the same shampoo company. So I'm gonna use the conditioner next and like put it in the bag for like 5 minutes just to like let it deep condition for a little bit. Flat iron my hair. I'm gonna use my heat protectant, and I'm gonna use that before I flat iron my hair. I'm not the best at flat ironing hair, but I make it work. So now the hair is looking the way it should be looking, period. This is what the back looks like. You see like that ombre effects that reveal, like, oh my god, we see pink, we see rose gold. So I put the hair in a ponytail so I can cut it into the bob shape. This is not easy. It looked like crap. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It was not easy to cut this. And I've had like scars from when I tried to cut a bob before and I cut it too short and it didn't come out nicely. So I will tweak this with my clippers. And then most times I recommend cutting the hair off camera. So now to get that wig on, I'm going my Got2b glue. I'm going to spray that into like my mesh cap. And I also outlined my hairline with my NYX white pencil, so I know how to cut the lace for my wig. And it's time to cut it up. So I spray that. You saw I sprayed it, and I also put my hair dryer on so I can like let that glue to my forehead. I didn't go into detail on how to really do this process as much because I'm gonna do another video on it. So now you can see I'm cutting my lace of my wig. I'm cutting the lace of the wig to match the white outline I did on the cap, so I know that I cut it the way to match my hairline. This is the new trick I learned. I'm like, you know what, I'm not just cutting it in a straight shape, because when you cut your wig directly like straight, that's not the best. You're not gonna get it accurate. It's gonna look like, it's gonna be so obvious you're wearing a wig. Sometimes if you're struggling, just take a hair clip and just like brush the hair to the side so you can see. And if you're worried about, oh my god, they're gonna see the white through the lace, yeah, they're gonna see it, but you're gonna put powder or use like a brown foundation that matches your skin to blend that white into brown, and it will be perfect. My bold hold, which is my glue, I only apply one layer because I really don't like to glue my wig on for a long time. I like to just glue it down for like a couple of days and take it off. So when you apply the bold hold, you take your hair dryer and press it on, and when it becomes transparent and clear, like you can barely see the white glue anymore, that's when you know it's ready for you to apply your glue down and glue it down. And I just press it down, and that's the whole process. Hopefully you guys learned something, you guys liked the video. See you in my next one.
Enjoy.